to do.
I don't really see a problem with this. I don't see that that's a problem.
Right, and I think the staff is recommending that this one on the alley be allowed to remain. It's the previous photograph that they want replaced.
That one,
Yes, sir.
That's on another neighbor's up to it.
Right.
Not like that.
Yeah.
no,
Our house.
no, I wouldn't want to see that all that.
So I would move that we follow staff recommendation and deny the CA for the west property line and allow it for the north line on the alley.
Are those the front of the apartment? Is that somebody's front door?
So the way it works is the front entrance is actually kind of towards the right, and that's like almost a rear entrance. And there's only 4 properties on the bottom that have those rear entrances. I'm not sure what determines what it's the entrance or not.
The owner's suites.
Yeah, but there's only 4 on each side, or 2 on each side that have the side entrance there, but the main entrance is in the middle of the property.
So there's upstairs and downstairs apartments. So there's about 8 per building.
Now, would we make a recommendation to change that to something different?
I think the staff recommendation is that it be wrought iron
Oh, okay.
back to
Yeah,
the
just like, okay,
front of the next doors and then a privacy fence beyond that.
gotcha, okay.
All right, all those in favor?
James Sane.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Now we go to 2455 Gladys.
Gerald Condon would like permission to permanently remove the shutters at 2455 Gladys. Mr. Condon is having the property painted and re-roofed as approved by staff. The shutters have been removed for painting, and Mr. Condon would like to not replace them. A field guide to American houses gives several examples of ranch-style homes without shutters. These are located on pages 479 and 480. Staff recommends approval of the request. This property is not listed in the spare Beaumont survey.
It'd be fun to pick on Gerald, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. To clarify, this is a customer's house, not one of his houses.
What was the page number? Oh, I see now, 470.
Yes, ma'am, 479 and 480.
Yeah, it looks like a 50-50 thing about whether you do shutters or not with that style house.
If Gerald does, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah. I make a motion that we approve file CA 3200.
And there's a second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Now we go to 2355 Liberty.
Carl Hubble created a rock parking pad in his front yard at 2355 Liberty Avenue. No certificate of appropriateness or permit was issued for this construction. Mr. Hubble is requesting permission to keep the rock parking space. The ordinance states, within front or side yards, off-street parking, surface parking is not permitted on grassed areas. Said grassed areas may not be paved or otherwise destroyed without a certificate of appropriateness. Vehicles may only be parked on paved surfaces. Staff recommends denial of the request. The house is not listed in the spare survey.
I'm surprised it wasn't listed.
Well, it's a new house. It looks like a Beaumont house.
But the gable and all that kind of stuff doesn't. That looks old.
Yeah, I don't believe that it's new construction. He does have 2, it doesn't show on here, but I think in your packets, you'll see that he does currently have 2 driveways already.
Yeah, he has one on either side.
Yes, ma'am. Both of those belong to this address. There has been a history of parking in the grass.
As we can see.
That's not my favorite.
Is Is this multi-family housing,
It's single family residence.
Single family.
single-family residence?
For a bunch of rich kids.
I believe the applicant is here, if you.
All right. Any other questions for staff? Mr. Hubble? Thank you. If you'd state your full name and address?
Yes, ma'am. It's Carl Hubble, Hubbell. It's 2355 Liberty Street here in Beaumont, 77702.
Okay. So do you have two driveways for this home?
I do have two driveways. Right now, we have that many cars per person. It's myself, my wife, my mother-in-law, and brother-in-law, both live there, and then my niece and nephew also live with us. So everybody has a car, and so that's kind of the issue that we've run into, is trying to be able to park people without blocking the sidewalk, things like that. So
There's no sidewalk, so if you park on the street, what's the issue there?
He can't park on the street right there. It's a one-way street and it's a very busy section of it.
I've had two, just since we've lived there, we've had two major accidents. One where a person was ejected after going through a telephone pole. People don't respect the speed limit on that road.
Oh, that was a tragic
Yeah.
accident.
So, and I've also had one where the pole in front of our house was hit and taken out. So that's the issue with parking in the street.
Do we can picture the other?
I have a picture.
I believe in your packet, there is another picture.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the packet, but not the slideshow.
Yeah.
And the photograph that you have, Mr. Hubble?
Yeah,
What were you wanting to depict with that?
Well, I can just show you a normal with everyone parked the way they should be, and you can see everything. Here, let me pull it up.
This house is not the same.
Unless it's changed. That's not the same house.
It is the same house. The front porch railing was added at a later date.
Okay,
Pictures-
got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
All right.
If y'all
yeah.
kind of see, so we've got the vehicles parked over here to the fence, and the vehicles here.
Up to your fence?
Right.
Okay,
So that's my mother's car, so she doesn't actually live there when she's parked.
all right. And then if you wanted to show each of the members?
So, and I have more, kind of give you an idea.
Yeah. You have any space in your backyard that you
I
could
don't.
park a car?
No, ma'am, parking, in the backyard like that, I don't have the space to do it. They added, when the house was built, there's like a breakfast nook
Mhm.
that they built that goes in where you can't really fit a car through. So it's been an issue before.
So it kind of encroached on the driveway.
So how many vehicles do you actually have?
There is mine,
This
my
used to be-
wife's,
used to be
my
that.
brother-in-law,
We're doing every one share.
transfers my mother-in-law, and then my niece and my nephew, so we've got 5 cars. And it's two per driveway and then one on the pad that we built. So you can kind of see. And that's the biggest issue. If I could park in the street, I would, but it's not safe. You can kind of see, it's the two on this side and the two on that side. And then that car is just someone that was visible, so.
Busy place.
What are we looking at?
Okay, so that's okay. This is the rock driveway on this side. That's the two vehicles that park there.
That's true.
And then this is the paved driveway on that side. There's the two vehicles that fit there.
Okay.
And then that one, that's the spot that I'm asking for, is to be able.
When did you put the rock down?
2 months ago, I didn't realize that I needed to do this.
And then
so That was-
Mr. Hubble, we have another
Oh.
member that joined us in the blue striped shirt. If you wouldn't mind
Sure.
showing him the
Absolutely.
photograph as well.
This is the rust one. On this side, that's the grade on that side. And then that's the side. So it was brought to my attention that we couldn't park there, and so I thought, well, I need to put rock down on that rock driveway anyways, and so I just extended it out, and then they advised me that I couldn't do that without talking to y'all, so.
It's one of those things that we've tried to be really very strict about. We have an ongoing problem in our neighborhood of people parking in the grass.
Right.
So, or parking in the front yard. And we, understand that we're living in small houses that were built at a time when if a family had 2 cars, that was wow.
Right.
And now we're in families that everybody has a car. But we've been very strict and conscientious about not allowing people to park in the front yard and not to gravel in part of their front yard. There's been some houses where, because of the configuration of the yard, they were able to add on or widen the driveway beyond the house or some other issues like that, but not just directly in front of the house like this. I wish there were some other solutions or because I know that Liberty is in a street that you can really park on the street as well.
This is kind of radical, but would anybody be opposed to him bringing that concrete all the way back to the street and having a double park there? Is that just wrong? I mean, I know it doesn't fit.
Widening the driveway,
Yes,
I mean, the part up to the sidewalk.
right there, yeah. It's like where the car is on the right, coming back, taking that grass out, and adding more concrete. I know it's not part of the historic district, but is anybody opposed to that?
There's limitations, I think, with the code on how wide you can have a driveway cut, isn't there?
It's 20 feet,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yep, 20.
20 feet? That's not gonna be more than 20 feet, I wouldn't think. There's already 2 cars there.
Because I don't have the measurement right, but I think it would make it with the rock like that. I think it's at 17 feet or somewhere from one side to the other. I think that's when I came in and did the measurement.
Yeah,
But I'm not crazy about the rock.
ordinance allows for a 20-foot driveway. It doesn't allow for a 20-foot rock driveway. It does allow for a 20-foot driveway, but our practice has always been 20 foot not in front of the home.
Right.
Okay.
If he were to expand that driveway to meet the 20 feet, he would continue parking in front of the home.
Okay.
I mean, it's y'all's call, we do what y'all say, but.
I mean, we have asked other people just to juggle cars. And I'm surprised that there can only be 2 cars on the driveway, although it looks like there's actually room for 3 cars on the driveway to the right of the house.
The concrete side, that it only fits 2. There's a large gate that goes right there. And you can fit 2. You can fit 3, but I'm going to be on the sidewalk. So I'd be blocking that.
Which I think is a violation of a city ordinance as
Right.
well.
That's correct.
Which we try to be very fair in that, because we know it's not always a permanent thing.
But like I have a 1-year-old and we like to walk the neighborhood, even though some parts of the sidewalk are hard to get through, but it's really hard when there's cars blocking the driveway. I know lots of people walk up and down there, so you try to do it in a way so that you don't block the sidewalk.
If commission doesn't mind, what if he removed the parking pad and replaced it with just pavers? That would eliminate the actual look of a driveway there, and he would have to maintain it. But it would allow for that parking to where he's not parking on the street as well. Just a thought.
Cost of the paver is going to be more than concrete.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it'd be more acceptable to do concrete in that section than I would pavers. And pavers are, you know, like Don said, they're gonna be more expensive, and they're gonna be less resistant over the years.
But they can't be removed.
They can
That,
be
I was just
removed.
thinking something
They
that
can
would
always be
allow just
removed.
for the 4 tires to be on, just so we're not concreting in part of the whole front yard.
Because I appreciate that. That's been my concern. Because we hope you stay in our neighborhood for a long
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
but you may not
Absolutely.
be living here forever, and the next person may only have 2 cars, and
Right.
this isn't an issue.
Well, the plan is not to go anywhere right now, but yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and so we like to do things with the smallest, I guess, permanent impact.
Right.
If we're making a variance.
Did you say your mother-in-law did not live here, but her car is there?
She does. No, she lives with us.
Oh,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
understood, I misunderstood.
My mother-in-law and brother-in-law both live with us. So
It was
that's-
his mom's car that was in the photograph.
Yeah, the other car, that was my mother. She was visiting. So that's the one you saw in the picture that I was
Oh, okay.
that I had taken.
Is there a reason why you can't park a car beyond that wooden gate on the side of your house?
Yeah, there's no way for me to get a car. When the house was built, they added a like a breakfast nook.
Yeah,
there in
but
the kitchen.
I'm looking at a picture and it shows enough space between the fence and the breakfast nook to park a car. That area from that gate to there.
The gate would be open, and honestly, in that neighborhood, I wouldn't want my gate to be open all night.
Why wouldn't you drive a car in and close the gate behind it?
The gate, when it opens up, if you look at your phone, when it opens up this way, it blocks. So I can't get a car through the nook area right here. It would be parked right there in that front part, and the gate would not be able to close. That's the issue I'm running into. Does that make sense?
Still looks like there's enough room to park a car and open and close the gate.
So,
I mean, that's a lot of space. Here's a car right there. That car isn't as long as from this breakfast nook to that gate.
yes, sir, but I would need to go all the way past the gate to get the gate to close
Back.
past the car. It does not, it opens, swings.
Right.
Think it's
Gate
going the
looks
other
like
way,
it's
so-
6 foot wide. So that car length and 6 foot should fit between here and there. Well, look at all the different cars you got.
Yes, sir.
You got smaller ones than this car.
I could, like the blue car, I could park it there, but it would, I know what you're saying, but I can't get that gate to close.
What if you change the hinges on the gate and make it open the other way?
I mean, I could do that, maybe.
Then it could close.
I need to look at that.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it looks like the car can fit in there and the gate can open and close.
Can I come see that, Don?
Sure. Here's the car, there's the gate and the space.
Yeah, sure. A lot of space.
I mean, you got a lot of cars and you got more than one family living in your house.
Yes,
In
sir.
a single family neighborhood.
Any other questions or discussion? All right,
I'll make a motion that we deny the request.
Second.
all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And what I would encourage you to do, Mr. Hubble, is as they have suggested, see if you can reverse the hinges on that fence.
Okay.
And it allowed at least one car to be parked in that unused portion of the driveway and still close your fence.
Okay, I'll
All
try
right.
that.
Okay,
The car that you use the least, But then get out every morning to go to work.
Yes, ma'am, I'll try.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we go to 2075 South Street. Thank you.
Quentin Pete would like to add a front porch to his house at 2075 South Street. Mr. Pete began work on the porch without the benefit of a CA or permit. A stop work order was issued. At this point, staff noticed that the proposed porch would encroach into the front setback of the property. A variance was requested and approved with the understanding that his porch must be approved by the Historic Landmark Commission. Staff recommends approval of a porch similar to Mr. Pete's design with a pitch to match the gable above the porch. This house is not listed in the spare Beaumont survey. She just did one. So I think what in your packet, it shows that what it appears is that his little overhang that he has currently, he was going to try to match that with the porch, but our recommendation is that he actually matches the pitch to the gable above. He could probably just go a little bit further down, just so that they both match.
You got the windows approved?
They were, that's what they were originally, 1/1. Just like that.
Looks like from the framing that the gable, the new gable's gonna be wider than the existing gable, and the new gable has to be narrower than the existing gable if it's gonna match up or fit inside of it, from where the support posts are outside of the line of the existing gable.
Or are these support posts when he was going to do this flat roof extension?
He is here, the applicant is here.
Okay.
I'm not sure as to what he
Which
was.
it is.
Yes, no,
All right.
yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions? Is it Mr. Pete? Thank you, ma'am. And if you wouldn't mind stating your full name and address for us?
Quinn Joseph Pete, Senior, 2075 South Street.
So the supports that we see depicted here, was this for your original design?
Yes,
or-
ma'am, it was gonna go the same like the, porch up under the, it's gonna go the same way, pretty much like how, the guy porch was on the previous page. Oh, it's gone,
Okay.
Pretty much like that, just cause the water, when it rained, I can't even have my front door open and give me some good fresh air because it rained all in the house.
Okay.
And just trying to upgrade my porch where I can sit on the porch and watch my kids play in the front yard. And I like the neighborhood. I don't plan on going nowhere.
So you're trying to just kind of extend your existing gable just out to protect your front
Yes, ma'am.
door?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If it's just extending that gable?
And we can't even,
is that- Okay,
like
You
two
have to
people
put
can't even sit on the
supports
porch.
down. I wasn't sure what he was trying to do.
okay.
Yeah, it's so small, it's so
If I
small.
get you correctly, the posts are just higher than they need to be, they'll be cut down?
Yeah, yes, sir.
They'll be cut down at the angle?
Well, normally your supports are inside of your gable, and here the
Right.
ports are outside of your gable. So
Right.
when he comes down with the gable, the new gable on the front is gonna be wider than this gable, but below it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
As we go farther away,
Yeah.
the gable keeps getting wider and wider.
Yes.
Well, it also does this to your ceiling too. It brings the ceiling down.
And it can
But
be done
it
from
looks
the
like,
design?
looks like he's fine. Looks like he's
Okay.
fine with doing that.
And me and my brother, we tried to both sit on there, and drinking some coffee one morning. We both couldn't even much fit on the porch.
So you're gonna be able to expand the porch out all the
Yes,
way, it's gonna be much larger?
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Okay.
it gonna be wood or concrete?
Wood?
Wood?
Yes, ma'am. That's all. I got it sitting right there.
I see it.
Mhm.
All right. Are there any other questions for Mr. Pete? If not, is there a motion?
I'm sorry, one
Sure.
more question.
Okay.
You're planning on painting the porch exactly the same colors as the house?
I don't know. I wouldn't even much. Just from going through the house, just if y'all was to say yes, I'd be so happy. I don't think I even care about even painting no more. I don't want no trouble.
If you change the color, that's a separate approval, so that's why I
yeah.
wanted to cover it right now. We can give you an approval for changing the color of the house, but if you're gonna keep all the colors the same, I don't think anybody minds the gray and white together.
That's correct, yeah.
We just painted it to gray and white.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
nice.
And that's very
Yeah.
nice.
And that's, yeah, it's pretty, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
I would approve if it stays that color, yeah.
So is there a motion?
I move we approve.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion to approve the request in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. Thank you, Mr. Pete.
All right, thank y'all.
And now, concerning 1791 North Street.
Boyd Meyer, building official, requests a certificate of demolition for the house located at 1791 North Street. According to the inspection report, this structure was originally tagged on January 18th, 2019. After attempts to save the house were met with theft and vandalism, the owner signed a demolition consent. The report states that part of an exterior wall is missing and much of the sheetrock is gone. All of the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing would need to be brought up to the current code. Based on the extensive repairs needed for this structure, the building code staff is recommending a raise order. Planning staff recommends approval of this request. The house is in the 1990 Spare Beaumont survey. Spare states that this house was built circa 1922. The house is craftsman style. That was typical of middle-class housing built in Beaumont in the 1920s and 1930s.
Do we have a photograph of it, or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ah, okay.
I think we have a couple, so here's the front.
Is the recommendation take it down?
Yeah.
Yes,
That
sir.
is the recommendation.
And that front door is unable to be secured at this time.
Go ahead and recommend taking it down. I hate to ask for questions, but.
Right. It sounds like we already have a
Yeah.
motion to approve.
Yeah.
There is a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. All
Somebody
right.
needs some building materials, there they are.
Yep.
Pretty good hardwood floors, maybe.
Siding too.
All right. Thank you so much. Now we go to the Historic District Code Enforcement Report. Thank you. Hello.
So, this, court's still been closed, we have not been to court since April, I think, maybe May. So our inspection totals, while they're still high, there's no court compliance, no updates on anything for you there, but we're a total of 270 inspections, completed, with 14 new charges filed, and 83 grass re-inspections, with 62 of those being cut by the city. So, that's about what we've been doing over here. Trying to keep
Okay.
it nice and pretty for y'all.
All right. Does anybody have anything they wanted to bring to her attention?
Is that
All
what
right.
we talked about?
Okay. Is there any other business? If not, I guess we can say
Short and sweet.
our first post-COVID in-person one is in the can. Thank y'all so much. We're adjourned.
In the future, can we get access to the Wi-Fi in this room? Because it's real helpful for me to be able to call up Google Maps on this and take a look at properties.
I was thinking that there was a guest.
And I need to let her in.
Yes, if you could find out and if you can provide it, that'd be great.
I bet Chris knows. Chris is in the back.
Can you share it with us next time? Great.
It is, it's just secret.
Oh, there's a guest account?
No,
Okay,
it's the Beaumont Council or the City of Beaumont.
okay. Well, tell Joey I said hello.
I will do that.
I've seen pictures of his new stuff and it's wonderful as always. Best cookie maker I've ever run across.
I need to get back to making. I haven't been doing that much.
So you still making?